Jared Cannonier, Marvin Vettori. Guys, I'm not ready to let this go. I thought I was. I thought I had moved on. But there's a lot of questions that came out of that evening. Right? And there's two Marvin Vettoris, by the way. There's the Marvin that you saw on Saturday. Awesome, right? That's a hard night out. But there's a more dangerous Marvin known as Angry Marvin. And Jared Cannonier didn't bring out Angry Marvin. And I don't know if that was on purpose or for strategy, or if it was just a byproduct of the way Jared Cannonier conducts himself. But I'm sharing for you, it was awesome. And when it was over, I don't know where the winner goes. I never knew going into this fight what they were fighting about, what they were fighting for. I mean, was this a contendership match? Was this the one that qualifies you for the one? Is this just for ranking? You're a former contender. I'm a former contender. We got to find each other. I'm okay with all of those things. I just share for you when the fight was done. I wasn't clear on where the winner was going to go, in this case, Jared. But I also am not sold on the idea that there's going to be a fall for the loser, in this case, Vettori. And that's one of the things when you go into these fights and you build them up yourself. When you go in and you build, right, you'll see guys that don't ever build a fight, and then they'll tell you, well, that's not what I'm here to do. Or they'll tell you that's unsportsmanlike. Or they'll tell you I'm just a purist at heart, and I let my skills speak for me. You'll hear all of these things that are all untrue. There is a risk, and it requires a courage, and most do not have it. When you bring attention to your match and you talk about how great your skills are and you guarantee victory before you go out there, there is a risk. Because the fall will be further and harder than had you not done that. That's true. Now, the other side of it is the rise is better. If you want to bump out of your fight, you've got to bring that attention to it. You've got to put out the 5 W's of who, what, when, why, and where, and the biggest emphasis needs to be on why. Now, if you don't do that, you don't have the same risk, and if you lose, you don't fall very far, and this is a very similar situation that we're in. But as we come out of this fight, we then have Jared Cannonier. Did you guys hear what Vettori had to say, by the way? He is so tough. Oh, my God, Marvin Vettori. Marvin Vettori admitted that those shots were dazing him. But he would tell himself as he was dazed and seeing stars, just stay in it, you'll come back. And pretty soon they did, and it shook off, and he's back in the fight. He takes another one, and he's seeing stars, and he tells him, keeps himself calm, says, hang in there, Marvin, you'll come back, you'll come, and then he's back. And it was a very simple comment by him, but boy, was it ever true, and it was impressive to hear. That he was able to do that and reset and keep that focus for 25 minutes straight. It was really quite an incredible thing. So, go back to Jared, because when the fight ends, Jared speaks up, says that he would like to go, and he would like to fight Chimaev. Now, this is interesting, though, because all we've ever heard about Chimaev, and we've even heard this is for travel reasons, of which I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I'll admit that I heard the rumor. We're going to put him in a co-main event spot on the October card underneath only Islam and a world title defense. It's so important that we have Chimaev. It's so important because we don't yet know who Islam's opponent's going to be, and we're not yet sold on the idea that Islam can draw. So we are absolutely going to make sure that we have the Wolf in this co-main spot, and we're going to do it in advance, 6 months, and pencil in Paulo Costa. And we believe this to be true. We believe this to be true, and then it was confirmed by both Chimaev and Paulo Costa. Great, we got to fight. Well, nothing changes. Absolutely nothing changes in any of our days. But we get an announcement that Paulo Costa is scheduled to go with somebody else. So that leaves it open for Chimaev. But when you know, a rumor comes in that Kamaru Usman wants that exact job. Boom. Set. Beautiful. Chimaev, Kamaru. Hey, why isn't this signed? Well, it's not signed yet because they want to do a catch weight, and we don't want to do a catch weight. Okay, well, we can get that worked out because it's not actually about the weight. It's about what winning that fight would mean, which would mean you're a number one contender. And for very valid reasons, Kamaru is not looking to take any thunder from Adesanya, his fellow countryman. He'd like to go back down to 170. I think that we all understand that, but either way, it's what stopped that match. It was not the weight. 185 pounds, what that scheduled for? You could have made that at 185.1 pounds. You could make it at 188. You could make it bigger. Just to prove my point, it has nothing to do with the weight. It has to do with the contendership. We don't even want this discussion going. I can stop it hard as long as I don't go on an actual weight class. Now, I bring this to you because then we get confronted. And the bigger thing is, what are we going to do with Izzy? And we find out from Dana White that there's a brand new television deal in Australia. It's going to activate in August, and they're going to take Adesanya. Wow, that's incredible. That sounds like a real opportunity. Who are you going to take him against? Well, we also know that Duplessis is who Izzy wants. And Duplessis is ranked number 6. We take guys from the top 5 all the time. We've never taken anybody out of the top 5, but we could do that here, and we could do it in the form of Duplessis. This is going to be the match. And then we find out that Duplessis and Whitaker are matched up. And you start selling yourself on ideas like, okay, they're going to fight, and then the winner will take on Izzy. I mean, I know that we all do that. I do that too. But guys, we're just selling ourselves. We were positive that Paulo Costa was going to fight Chimaev. So now we're positive that Duplessis versus Whitaker happened, and we're extra positive as long as that is Duplessis and not Whitaker. I mean, we're just going in circles here. At some point, you got to make the match. You got to make the matches you can make when you can make them. This plan of build or this plan of down the road has ended in disaster 9-1. Over it all worked out, and it worked out 2 years from now just as we had planned. It ends in disaster all the time. So we've now got an available Chimaev who just got called out by Cannonier. That is the first time in history that Chimaev has been called out. Of course you make that match. Of course, today. But it hasn't been made yet. And August isn't all that far away. We're told that Adesanya is getting brought out there. He's going to be on top of the bill. So we've got an available Chimaev. We have available Adesanya. Both with placements and both with dates. If we're to operate under the information that we have, which always turns out to be shoddy. We have Kamaru Usman flirting with the idea of the weight class, and we have Jared Cannonier who just called out the Wolf. Those are the pieces. And you got a little bit of time, but you also got a finish line. October card is set. This August business in Australia is set. And each day that we get closer and we lack opponents for our stars gets more and more interesting. So what do you think is going to happen? Where's Kamaru end up? Does Jared get his ass? Does Chimaev respond to the call-out? Does Adesanya have a healthy, viable opponent by the time Duplessis and Whitaker are done bludgeoning one another? It's a good time to be a fan of MMA.